Hello and welcome everyone. And as usual, we have our two for the past 2 weeks now. They've been here consecutively. So we have Michael, Jerry, and Thomas Anthony. So today they will be taking us. Actually, this has been a running topic for a while now. So, but then today we'll still be looking into them, which is smart contract user experience. Thomas is going to show some more practicals and of the smart contract aspect, and then Mr. Michael Jerry will now give us some NFT illustrations with regards to Tune NFT and the willful part of it, or the willful being a platform that you could mint NFT on that is running on FreeTon network. So let me welcome Mr. Thomas for his own part of the session. Welcome, Mr. Thomas.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, like Young said, so we're just going to recap what we did last time before we actually get into today's topic. So last time you were able to, of course, before that we compiled a contract and we were able to get an address. So for those who don't remember, this was our address. We got an address that looks something like that, and we were able to send some tokens to it from another address. So currently, this address doesn't have a contract deployed in it, but of course the address exists and it has a balance of a few tokens. Okay, I've muted that guy. Just if you enter, try to be silent, please. Okay, so this is the address we deployed. It's the 034E. So we're going to check up on it and see how it's doing. So I'm just going to copy it, and I'm going to come to the blockchain explorer over here. Remember, I had shared this and I had showed you guys how to use it. So we're going to switch on the left side to go to net and have a look at what's going on in that particular address. So we're going to search for it, and there it is. Let's just mute all these guys. Okay, so you can see we were able to send 10 tokens to it. So that's our address, and if we check here, we can see the balance is 10 tokens. So currently, this address doesn't have a contract deployed under it. And as we were following the instructions provided by the devs, we reached somewhere around here. Of course, we were able to send some tokens to it. Now the next thing, of course, is to deploy the contract. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this command so that at least we are able to deploy a contract under it. And of course, after we deploy a contract under our address, we can be able to send tokens from that particular address. So number one, we have an address. The next thing we need to do is put a contract there that allows us to send tokens to other users and do other sorts of items. So we're just going to copy this command. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to paste it here. And we're going to replace every aspect of this, just like we were doing last time with, of course, valid commands. So we're just going to, this is a command, it says deploy the key file. The key file is, this is a key file. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to put it there. This one, it's always advised to put it to 0. The ABI file is the ABI file right here. So we're going to put that there. We are going to put the TVC file, this one here. We're going to copy it and put it here. So when deploying, when deploying the contract, let's copy, these are the keys. You need to put them here, sorry about that. When deploying any contract, you deploy it by using the constructor method. So what you're going to do, we are going to open our contract here, the one we plan to, of course, to deploy. This is it. So I'm going to open it. I'm just going to double click on it. and it's going to open. So I'm just going to open it for you guys. So as you can see, this is what our ABI requires for us to deploy the contract. And you can see the constructor part, the inputs. We have no inputs. So if you have no inputs, what you usually do under parameters, because you are not giving any parameters, you do something like this. So there we are. So it's deploy. These are our keys in the computer. The work chain is 0. And of course, this is our ABI file. And this is our compiled contract. And the parameters are like so. So we're just going to copy this. Going to bring them here. And of course, I'm just going to paste them, making sure I have copied them. Copy. And just exit that. And start it again. Ton CLI, ton S CLI, please CMD. Copy. There we go. Just press enter. Isn't expected, isn't valid in this contest. Let's have a look at what we've done wrong. So deploy the key file. Oh, we need to sign. Just need to add this here. We sign with this. And the next item we add is the work chain. We add that there. And of course the ABI. Just come back here. Do that, then we can try again. Copy. Let's see what happens. Invalid ABI. Oh, sorry about that. That's not the ABI. This is our ABI right here after the work chain. Control Z dash ABI. So a command will look like this. So we just copy it, paste it there. Let's have a look. Let's see if it's able to deploy. So it says deploying. So you want to get an address like we did last time, sponsor it with a few tons again like we did, and then now we deploy our contract. So as you can see, contract deployed at address. That is the address. So if we check our account again, so we just type, let's remove all of that. So you can just say account. Of course, we get the address. This was our address right here. We copy it, we paste it there. We can see now at least you have some items or a contract under there. So what this means is that our new address which you are able to generate, we now have a wallet contract, and that wallet contract we can use it to send tons to another, of course, to another user or something like that. So what you're going to do is actually going to practice that. You're going to use this contract, of course, we've deployed, and we can see it here. Also, we can follow that up by checking here, by checking on the Ton Live Explorer. Let's just try and see the messages that are there. You can see we even incurred a cost. Whenever you deploy a contract, it incurs the fuel cost. So keep that in mind. That's why you can do it for free. So as you can see, the time checks out. Let's see what we were able to do. That is our transaction. You can see you can view more details. That is the body, of course, and that's the code that, of course, we were able to deploy, and the data, and that is the bag of cells. So let's come back here. Now that we've seen our address is deployed, we want to try and use it. So what we can do, we can come here and try to send some tons to it. For example, let's do the previous one whereby we just sent a few tons from that particular address. So we're just going to come here. This command we used last time, but this time we are calling of course our own contract. So we're just going to copy this address here. our destination. We want to change our destination. Let's change our destination to this. Put it there. We want to send, let's make it 5 tons instead of 10 because I'm not sure we have 10. So what we want to sign it with is our, of course, our keys. Our keys are these. So just copy that, remove that there, and there is our command ready to go. So we just copy all of this, come here, paste it, and press enter. Let's see what happens. It says processing. So again, we can see the result is succeeded. So if we check our balance, we should be less 5. So as you can see, we are about 4.9. Again, if we come back here to the Explorer, you can see we are about 4.9. And where did the money go? You can see where it went. We sent it to this particular address too. So if we were to copy this address and see the person we send the money to, if they actually got the money, and just come here, search for it, and let's have a look at the messages which are here. And you can see everything checks out. The time and date, which actually checks out with the current time and date we have here. And of course, this is when the information was sent. And we know who, of course, sent it and the message ID. So that is a breakdown, again, of how we can, number one, get a contract. We get contracts again from here. We use this for the wallet one. We were able to compile it, and we were able to get an address on the blockchain. And we were able to also send a few tons to that address so that we could, of course, deploy the wallet or the contract. So this is a contract we deployed. And after we deployed the contract, we were able to exercise something else, which was, of course, to send a few tons. As you can see, there are quite very, very few commands. Number one, of course, get the contract you need. Number two, get the address. Number three, then sponsor that particular address, maybe get some tons into it so that you deploy your contract into that particular address, and then you are able to go, you are good to go. So there are so many other variety of contracts that you can have a look at. But today I want us to focus on the wallet one because I think this speaks to so many of us. And I'm actually going to show you guys a demo that I was able to make for this particular class, whereby every particular item we've spoken about up to this particular point. I know it's been hard visualizing it, but again, as I've always said, I encourage you guys to try all of these steps out. So from all the rough housing we've done with the command tool, I'm going to show you guys a portal. Let me just mute these guys here and here. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a portal which I made whereby you are able to sell and, of course, buy tons. So this is how the portal looks like. Let me just log out. It looks something like that. So you can sign up or you can log in. So let's go ahead and log in. That's my email and then that's my PIN. So if I log in, let's see what I'm able to see. So this is a practical example I think most of you are very, very interested in, particularly, of course, it concerns selling tons and buying tons. So you can see it. The simple platform shows you of course, we are dealing in ton crystals. It shows you the number of markets in which ton crystals are traded, the rank, and of course the last volume in this particular hour. And of course it shows the current value. This current value, I'm showing it in Kenyan shillings because, of course, I've taken the value you get for tons and converted it into Kenyan shillings. So this is my account. So again, when I sign up, let me take you guys through the process of actually everything that we've done so far. So if I was going to come here and go to sign up, just a minute, and go to sign up, I'd be asked for my email. So I'd input my email. Let me put my email. My full names. Maybe give my passport. Let me say I'm male. That's my phone number. And my date of birth, let me make it 2000. So if I sign up, let's see what happens. The email has already been registered because I've used that particular email. Let's try another one. .co.ke. So this sign up process, when successful, all it does is of course make a wallet contract for you. So you can see it says success, check email for details. So we can just check our email. But again, you remember the process that we did for creating a particular contract, whereby we were able to compile it using this command tool. And now what we are doing is we're allowing a user to register. And when they register, of course, they get their wallet ID and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to check my email and see if I got anything. So that is all that does. So I'm going to go back here where I'm logged in. This is another account I have here. That's my name. Of course, these are how you typically handle user information, their email, their national ID, and all that. But what's important here is their wallet address. So this wallet address, if I was to copy it, you can see the balance that is there, 546 tons. But this is, of course, on the testnet. So if I was going to come here and have a look, let's see what happens. You can see, this, of course, it shows everything up to what we expect. That is our balance. And of course, that is our balance here. So that is just a simple way in which you allow someone to register. And then in the background, what you do, you just make a wallet for them and you deploy it for them. So that when they log in, they are able, for example, to buy crystals. I can buy crystals from here. I can select a bank. I can buy, if I buy, I am able to pay with my mobile phone number. So something like this, you link up with your maybe MTN money or other form of digital wallets that are available in your nation. If you are going to do multiple nations, of course, you'd understand how that works. So when someone sends money to a particular address or turns to a particular address, you just send them money. The way you send them money is using mobile money. So that's one way you can do that. Here we have our account statements. You can see we bought a few tons. Let's see if this checks out. Because we sold, I believe, 20. We can try and track that particular transaction. You can see the transaction is here. Again, you can see how using very, very simple concepts of, number one, creating a smart contract, getting the address, sponsoring the address, and again, of course, making sure the address is well funded to deploy a contract under it can be transformed into something everyone can be able to use in their day-to-day activities. Like, for example, this particular web portal which I made for this class. So there are, of course, other things you can allow someone to do, change their PIN, have a new PIN, and all that sort of stuff. So in another type of setting, you'd have something like this, and you'd go ahead and do items like loans, savings, all of you trying to deal in DeFi kind of applications. I would encourage you, of course, to try out the simple concepts we've had a look and see how you can be able to take your program from, of course, understanding the few things to do with smart contracts and how you can be able, of course, to deploy them and create a simple user interface like this. So maybe the next item I would like to talk about is, of course, whenever you are doing any application in blockchain, you have to complement it with, of course, other types of applications. As I mentioned earlier, this one is complemented by, of course, mobile money. In my case, the mobile money service I use is a service here in Kenya called M-Pesa. M-Pesa is very popular. You can actually look it up. It's just a way to send, of course, as it says here, money via phones. So people can buy crystals or sell crystals using their mobile phone. Just mute that guy. If you enter the chat, please make sure you're muted. So that is one application you can use to complement your blockchain application. Another application I would like to show you guys is something, of course, to do with the Ton Crystal exchange rate. Okay, it's of course to do with the Ton Crystals exchange rate. At any particular time, crystals are being sold, and for example, if I wanted to know how much Ton Crystals are, Ton Crystals value, I would have to do a Google search like this. So when you're making your application, of course, your application has to be integrated with whatever you are doing. So you'd make an API for something like this. And actually, that's what I'm using to, of course, to get the value of Ton crystals at any particular time. So what I'm going to show you here is the endpoint I made for that particular service. So let's have a look here. Fetch statements, account number, sell. Just going to press send, and you're going to see how this checks out. So you can see that the current price is $0.5971. Let's see if that checks out. It's about somewhere there, of course. Yeah, 5.898. So this is what I'm doing here that I've integrated with my application. I'm using an API called Coin Ranking. It's called Coin Ranking. If you come here, you can be able to see the value of particular. For example, if I was going to search ton crystals, let's have a look. You can see this particular number checks out with what I have here, with whatever I have here. Yeah, because what I've done, I've actually integrated it. So I've used the blockchain knowledge that I have, and hopefully that you have too, of course, how to create a smart contract, how to create an address, and how to deploy information under it so that you are able, of course, to send money. So what we've done here, we are coming here, having a look at, let's mute that guy. We are coming here, having a look at how much a ton crystal is worth. If it's worth that particular amount. The next thing you are doing, in whichever nation you are, so we can, for example, deal with Nigeria and see how much 1 USD to Naira. It's about 380. So this would be somewhere around the range of 380 times 0.5972. So currently 1 ton crystal is about 227 Nairas. So you can see the value to you and how you'll be able to add that to your application. So for example, if someone was going to give you 227 Nairas, you'll give them 1 ton crystal. And that is the particular example I'm talking about here. Whichever application you make, most likely you're going to try and integrate other forms of applications with it. So that's where the concept of, you are doing something on blockchain and you want to integrate with other APIs, you have to be very, very fluent in APIs. So I would encourage you guys to have a look at this particular website. Let me just share the link there. More chat. Let me send the message there. And also let me know if you have any question. I'll be happy to answer it so that at least I can help the class move at a much more easier pace. So maybe again, I can repeat what I was saying for those who aren't here. In the previous classes, we went from, of course, getting a smart contract. We were able to compile it to get these 3 items. From compiling it to get these 3 items, we were able, of course, to get an address. That was our address. And after getting the address, something else we were able to do is sponsor that particular address with a few tons. So that in that address which we got, we could send a smart contract or deploy a smart contract. A smart contract was a wallet contract. Of course, you can write your other forms of contract. And after we deployed that particular contract, we were able to use that contract from the address we created to send tons. This is how we did it. So that was like, of course, we were using the command tool, the Ton OS CLI, the CLI tool. So what happened, we went from there, and this is actually a real world example of how you can take that particular knowledge and do number one. After someone signs up in your website or mobile application or whichever sort of app you have in mind, after they sign up, number one, you come back here in the application you are running, you do all of this stuff for them. So at the end of it, they have at least a wallet address, and they are able, of course, to send tons, and they can buy items in your exchange or something like that. And also from that, what tools and programming languages is the best to do a user-friendly interface? That's an interesting question. It depends what kind of interface you want to do. For those of you looking to do items in the web, I would encourage you very much to, W3 schools. Let me HTML. HTML5 is quite powerful. You can use it. Those are very, very simple examples. You can use it to make very, very good user interfaces. And if you're actually very good in HTML5, this is like the starter tutorials. You can go from not knowing anything, of course, to being able to make a website like this. I believe in a few days. It's not that difficult. So I'd encourage you to look into HTML5. So that is actually useful in making a good user interface. Of course, you can You can plug in other sorts of useful features, of course, to style it up. You can use a very, very popular tool called Bootstrap. Let me look it up for you. Get Bootstrap. This is it. Sorry. This is it. Of course, if you know HTML and you can do a good amount of Bootstrap, you will have very, very good looking websites. So that is what you need. I think that is what you need if you are trying to make a web-based sort of user platform. But if you are going to use other sort of course, applications like mobile and maybe desktop applications, then you might have to get your hands dirty and learn a bit more complex things. Maybe you can do Swift if you are doing, of course, what is it called? If you are doing Apple applications, and you can look into a bit of Qt if you want to do both at the same time. So you'd be maybe Qt loader. You can look into this. There, you can use the Qt loader tools that are available, and you can be able to create very, very good user interfaces. Like for example, this user interface, I just know I'm not very good in HTML. I know a bit of HTML and CSS, so that's how I was able to make it. But what I'm very, very fluent in is like, of course, the back end of it, like making APIs. Because you can see, just make this guy. You can see like most of the functions you see here, the API, like register user, this form we have here, this is an API. So what I've done is I created this endpoint and I made it into this particular form that you see here. So someone signs up, they send the information to my server, and of course they are able to execute all the smart contracts that I, of course, demonstrated earlier. Is there any other question? But HTML and Bootstrap is what you want to go for. If you have another question, you are shy to talk, just type it in the chat. I'll be able to have a look, and of course, I'll be able to answer you. So that is the smart contract we looked at. This is how it looks like. You can actually, there are much more better ways to deploy your smart contracts. You can use something dbots to make very, very good user interfaces. You can even go a step further and make your own contracts that you can have a smart contract. There's a guy making noise. Let's just have a look and mute him. Okay, so you can have a variety of contracts. You can have a contract that, for example, let me show you another one. There's a banking contract here. There's a bank collector. What contract? You can have a bank contract in which you are able to add clients to that particular bank. Those clients can do something like take money out of that particular contract or take money out of that particular bank. All these are very, very exhaustive examples of contracts which you'd use to make your own application. And if you are feeling very, very adventurous, you can be able to have one contract that does a variety of all these things. But you must be in a place again to make sure where you understand, number one, the syntax of course, generating and running your own smart contract. Like for example, a command like this, generate a smart contract address. Something like this. You have to know how to interpret this information. You have to know when you see TVC, this requires you to provide the compiled smart contract that you have in the first place. Number two, you have to know if you see ABI, it requires you to provide the interface or the binary file that is required. So you just replace this with all the relevant files in your computer or application. Or you can go ahead and even use a much more user case friendly use cases provided by the devs. I think I shared them earlier. Again, I'm just going to share them again. These examples. Samples. I believe it's called samples. Samples. Here we are. Yeah, you can look into this and you can be able to make your own very, very easy to use sort of contracts that are actually case specific. Okay, we have another question here. What do you use in making the API endpoints, and how is the data flow from user interface to API? That's a very good question, and at least I can see you are trying to follow the class. So what I use in making the API endpoints, the language in this case is PHP, and that's what I use, PHP, to make, of course, the the API endpoints. And your the next part of that question involves, okay, how do you link, of course, the API to produce something like a website? So that is a good question. So when you make an API, most APIs are REST sort of based. Like, for example, you've gone to a website, like if I go to Google and Google house, if I come here and copy this link, let's see what composes that particular link. What composes that particular link is that information. We have the query here, we have the optional query and all that sort of stuff. So this is like an example of a very, very common REST API that you use every day. This one is called GET. So what I do here, I create my own API, but in this case, I use POST. So this information, we are sending it to our server in a particular script. So that particular script accepts email, name, items you'd use, of course, to register someone. In this case, you might change that up. So if you are able to make something like this, you have a piece of program running whereby when that program accepts input in a sort of REST HTTP manner, you are able to do something. Maybe, for example, send an email. You can be able even to, of course, execute a smart contract and all that sort of stuff. So if you are able to have something like this, what I encourage you to learn is something called maybe jQuery Ajax. I'll look into this, quite easy. So what jQuery Ajax does, it allows you to set up your own website and you are able to send commands to your particular API. So these are like the syntax of how that looks like. And it's actually what I'm using here. So the website is talking to the API here. For example, if we are going to come and look at account information, and we went to our here and we got user info, let's see what happens. You can see that's our wallet code. The same wallet code is the wallet code here, if you are keen enough. That is the passphrase. This is the balance. And you can see, again, sorry about that. This is our balance. You can see how all of that checks out. It shows us when we were last paid. Of course, we did it in this particular session, and it gives us the transaction code. So we can go ahead and add items to that, like maybe get statements. Let's come here and get user fetch statement. So we just press send, and you can see we were able to this is for selling. We sold for 50 shillings. How many tons did we got? We got 1.0 grams, and we can verify that here. If we come to our application, sorry about that. Come to our application and go to statements. You can see we sold for 50 shillings. We got that amount of grams. This is the narrative and all that sort of thing. So you can make your API in any language you like. You can use any endpoints you like, but the typical methods you want to use are, of course, the conventional one. You can use POST, GET. They are quite the number. If you are doing very, very complex things, then you can go into put, lock, and such sort of things. After you do that, and you want to make a user interface, just use jQuery to plug in, or jQuery Ajax, or JavaScript Ajax, or whichever language you like to plug into your API, and you'll be able to produce an interface as the one I've showed. I hope I've answered. Yeah, I hope I've answered that very, very well. And maybe in the next class we can go deeper into looking at how this works, and we can be able to explore other items. But I believe if there is no other thing or any other particular question, I'd like to end it there. And I encourage you guys to take the examples that I've shared and also practice everything that we talk about here. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas Schroeder. Thank you to your presentations today. So I hope by next week we'll go a little further as to more illustrations with the smart contracting. And as always, anyone that has any further follow-up information, if you're on the Discord page, you could just DM Thomas or you could DM me, and then I will forward it to him. So here is Mr. Michael Jerry, so you can take it up from here for the NFTs. Michael, over to you.
Good afternoon, guys. Cool to have you on here. Mr. Thomas, I really enjoyed your session. Well done. I really enjoyed that. So, quick, without wasting our time, we started like in 2-3 weeks back. We started our training about NFTs or learning about NFTs. What are these NFTs? last week we minted our first NFTs on OpenSea. Then I showed you other couple of platforms like Rarible, like Mintable, and I showed you the process of minting on platforms that are not really what's on Ton blockchain. So today we'll be more specific with Ton blockchain aspect of NFTs, and it's quite something like not something as complicated as that, because in this process right now what we have on the Ethereum blockchain is it's just quite something simple. It's more like you can easily buy something, and you live more like you're buying things, you're buying tokens, you're buying digital art, NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain. You buy a price, and you are able to sell. It's basically like a marketplace, you understand? So you can mint, but what you mint is just things that are like it's like a random. It's not a platform where as at this moment I'm sure like improvements are on its way. It's just started, and improvements surely are on its way. So right now you can't really come and start minting on, but there is a process whereby you can mint. There are a couple of things that are inspired by what's CryptoPunks. Let me share my screen. Do I have the permission to share screen, please?
Right. Just a minute, please.
Okay.
Go on.
All right. Okay, so guys, let me quickly share my screen. So now let me quickly remember NFTs are really a byproduct of DeFi, decentralized finance, you understand? So that's the basic thing. So now, as regards for Ton blockchain, it doesn't require you to actually go through the apps, using browsers that can access or with three browsers, for or like complicated platforms like OpenSea. You have to go through some browsers and a couple of things like that. So you can just go use your Chrome, just like I'm using my Chrome. One thing is once you're on the platform, you understand. So it's your first time on the platform. Yeah, a couple of things you have to understand first about this platform. The URL is waifuston.com. I think we can have that in the chat, please. waifuston.com. Just like Mr. Austin was saying a couple of I think couple of days or weeks ago, the minimum amount required for you to mint on this platform is just 20 ton, but now it's 40 ton. So who knows? Maybe this is not to give like price speculations. Hopefully, it's a blockchain where people are constantly coming towards build value. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of these tokens at 80 ton, and that's they become valuable. Yeah, more adoption, they become what's valuable once people start seeing, once people are getting attached to a couple of these things. So let's get started, on this platform, waifuston.com. First time here, let me quickly explain. What you need to do at first is you need to create a waifu wallet. This I call it waifu. Maybe you have a way of pronouncing it better. But if you don't already have one, if it's your first time on this platform, you have to create a wallet, and it's actually only for now. It only works with its own type of wallet. You understand? So, but I think innovations keep coming. But you shouldn't worry yourself. You can always transfer funds between any Ton wallet. You understand? So let's quickly get into it. Unlike remember the few weeks where we talked about a couple of other NFTs. On OpenSea, it's quite there are differences. You can see differences. So here on this platform now, your public key or your pub key is like your username. That means all tokens are not bounded to your address but to a public key. So public key is your main identifier in the service. This just explains to you like the tokens are not on your wallet address, unlike when you're using the likes of OpenSea, that the tokens are in your trust wallet. You just have to go on the aspect of the collectibles, then you can actually see your what NFTs. Now in for waifu, you understand, your tokens are on your what address. You understand? They are what's on your address, not in your wallet. I hope you get that. You understand? On a section of our trust wallet or either MetaMask, you can always go there and see what NFT tokens you're having. But it's quite different. It's quite different once it comes to what waifu. It's what they are banded to your what public key. So your public key is your main identifier what's in the service. Now another thing, the next thing is what secret key. I'll show you what the public key is, just as a test, it's a test, something, it's a practical. So we are testing, and I can show you a couple of things. Now secret key, just like in cryptocurrency, in blockchain, we have a secret key or private key or whatever you call it. It's your password, not like it's your password. It's your password. You understand? All transactions, while we were last week, can you recall that at every point in time, even while we were trying to link on OpenSea, you would be asked while we were using our MetaMask, you'll be asked at point in time. The first time you have to connect, you have to link your MetaMask to either your OpenSea, your Mintable, your Rarible. You have to link them together. So more like this. So you have to use at every point in time. You have to what when you need to link. You have to what bind everything together with your secret key. So all transactions are signed with a secret key. So a bundle of public private keys sorry what am I trying to say? Is similar to the username password combination, just like a regular wallet whereby you have your username and your password. It's the same thing. The public key is your username in this instance on what Wi-Fi, and your secret key is your password. That's just the basic thing. So now let's quickly move down to wallet. The wallet address is used to top up the balance from any Tone wallet. You can there are different kind of Tone wallets that we have. We have Tone, so or we have extraction. But me basically, I use I think I prefer Tone Store. I practice with this platform right now, and I use Tone Store. So it's actually easy to contact. Now let's quickly move on. This wallet is used to pay for any actions in Wi-Fi Tone. You can withdraw funds from it at any point in time. That means what when you there is a way you can actually link your wallet to this platform, or you can actually what create a wallet on this platform. Like you have a new wallet on this platform where you can actually what store your ton. That means what at any point in time you can transfer from this wallet, the wallet on Waifu. It's like a newly generated wallet that you have your username and you have your what secret key, which you need every point in time to authorize transactions. So that means you have a wallet on this platform. You can create a wallet. That means what you can send from your Tonsolve app, your Tonsolve browser, or whatever the version of Tonsolve you use. You send your Ton to this wallet, and it can actually be what in this wallet, and at any point in time you can still transfer from this platform back to your Tonsolve. That what it's talking about now. Minting or new NFTs. If not all tokens have been distributed yet, then any users what can mint. Now let me quickly show you something. There are what 242,048 waifus. So this aspect is telling you that now at a point in time all of these will be distributed. Now what happens is what scarcity. This is why I mentioned it earlier that at a point in time to mint, for you to mint the minimum amount you can use to mint before used to be what 20 ton. Now it's what 40 ton, which I'll show you. Now what happens when all these waifus are what's distributed?
Okay, I think Mr. Michael must be having some technical issues. Can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, just type in the chat, yes, please.
So when you mean it's your 40 ton, that means what you get one of these was 2040. So at a point in time, you expect that this 2048 will be what would all be in circulation. So that means what it's definitely when it's more like the concept of Bitcoin when there's 21 million in circulation, and right now that we are nearing the whole supply, the maximum supply being in like the total circulation, it's becoming more valuable. That means what it becomes more competitive. So actually what get at that point in time, you'll not be minting. You can only place bid for you to buy a waifu that has previously been minted by another person. You understand? Just like so the person your digital art into like maybe you can turn your own personal digital art into
Michael,
hello.
I think you disappeared for some few
Hello?
seconds. You disappeared for some few seconds.
Okay. I disappeared for some few seconds. Okay, I'm back now. Can you hear me? It must be the
Yeah.
network. So now, well, this is what happens. So when the 2048 is all in circulation already, that means what you cannot mint a new one. You can only either buy or sell the ones you've minted. So that's why if you ask me what do I see about this and what do I see about coming months, as much as I don't want to give price speculation, this will be very, very awesome, because at the end of the day, the 2048 is in circulation. So it's the competition, the demand will be higher. The demand will be higher and than people trying to sell these NFTs. So now it's basic. The first time you are on this platform, what you have to do is create your wallet or link your what tons of wallets. So I'll show you. I'll scroll up, but I want to ensure that I explain all these things. You can see I've minted my own NFT, and when I minted it was 40 tons, and right now I have listed it. I have listed what to sell, and I'm offering to sell what at what 60 ton. You understand? So if I decide I can cancel something. So I am offering to sell this at what 60 tons. So I'm waiting for someone to bid. I'm not expecting this bid to be fast, to be like something that comes in few seconds or few hours from now. But I'm sure at the point in time, these 2048 waifus that are inspired by CryptoPunks all will be in circulation. You understand? So that's the aspect where you want it gets more interesting. So once you're done, once you mint with your now this is as I when I minted I got what number 905, so we still below 1000 or the 1000 what waifu. So let me show you the procedure to mint, and the procedure maybe you can see these are couple of waifus that have been minted. This is 88, it's 88. And this is the latest one. I actually was minted the latest one, which is what number 905. So I'm expecting as time goes on and all these are minted, and it will be crazy. So once you have done this is where it comes up. So if you are done setting up your wallet, the next thing you click on is what top up. Can you see, like I explained earlier, you can actually top up or withdraw from this wallet. So that means even if you have as I have like 41 ton right now in this wallet, I can click on withdraw and withdraw what back to my ton. So for you to deposit, you click on what top up. Once you click on what top up, can you see the procedure where you can easily what top up? If you know about Chapex, Telegram, bot, Photon, you can from there you get your wallet address and what you top up your wallet address. Once you top up now, the next thing is what you can see the minting fee is 40. At the point this was what 20. So those who minted all these at the point where it was just 20 when it cost 20 ton to mint. That means that they are up by what 100%. Now this is not price speculation. This is just telling you how powerful this can become as time goes on. So for you to mint, click on get new waifu. It's simple. It's not as if you're the one selecting the hats that you want or something. They are just random. You understand? They are numbered 1 to what 2048 or 0 to 2048 as inspired by what CryptoPunks. That's the inspiration of this. So you click on this and you wait. And you see the mint fee is about 40.02 for Tron will be charged. So you want to ensure that when you're topping up your wallet, it's well, I think at the first time where you are trying to link your wallet address with this platform, you understand, when you are trying to find it, that's the name of the process. It's regarded as what to find. When you're trying to find you charge 0.5 ton. So you want to ensure that you send more than what 40 tons. You see, I just minted what an NFT, one of the what crypto waifus. So that's the process. It's nothing but complicated. The next thing you can now what is you can just leave it now. I just minted what number what 906, and we are going to what 2048. So you click on manage. You click on the next thing you want to do is what you click on manage. If you want to transfer, maybe you want to transfer to another person's wallet. Now I told you you remember your public key is what your NFTs. Like I said earlier, on this platform are not in your wallet. They are binded to what your public key. You understand? Which is what your wallet address. So when you want to transfer, maybe you want to send that to the wife, maybe you have another wallet that you're trying to send that to. You paste the public key here. You understand? If you're trying to offer it for sale, I just minted that what. Can you see? These are like when we refer to like remember the concept of metadata that will tell you, this tells you about differences of different entities. You can see these are things when you're talking about what metadata. In previous classes, I told you of the fact that one of the advantages of NFT is it carries it tells you about the true owner of an item, of an NFT. Now you can see this is telling you at any point in time now the owner this until I transfer it to someone else. This will always tell you like when you see this anyway, I can always verify that I am what the true owner, the one that was actually minted is because this is my what public key on it. So these are the couple of details when you talk about what metadata about what NFTs. So now if I want to rename this, maybe I want to rename it, I don't know, maybe I like African names like maybe Wakanda or something like that. So you can just put Wakanda, so that you are not so for privacy or something. You can use maybe You want to maybe you can skip the A in between. So this is not really Wakanda. So you're not sued for using a name that you're not. Maybe there is an issue with the name or something, copyright. So this is not Wakanda. This is just Wakanda. This is what me I prefer. I like name like Wakanda. That's what I just prefer basically. So now you can put your price there. Maybe you want to sell that you're listing at 80 what at 80 ton. So the next thing you want to click on what? First you set the name, click on set. You'll be charged this amount of ton for you to like get this process done. You can see. So I just set the name for it, which is what which is WAC ender. So now I want to list for sale, which is what 80. I'm listing at 80 ton. I minted at 40 ton, and I'm listing at 80 ton. I believe it will be worth more than this was in the future. You understand? So these are just like they are like auto generated. That's just the concept. I've just listed now, so you can go back. So now, if you go through someone's you go through all these platforms, you can now see this is it. Can you see now? This is the name. Can you see if I can manage it from here. Now, if I want to buy other people's NFTs, I can just click on whichever the one I feel okay. This is these things I don't know, but I told you earlier like when you talk about NFTs are crazy. That's the truth. How could you be like, what value does this? What value is this giving out to you? But it's emotion. That's the thing. What's the value there in Jack Dorsey first ever tweet? What's the value there that someone wants to what? I think someone paid. I think it's a very ridiculous price. Well, Elon Musk was offering to sell just an NFT like a music for what, 430 million Dogecoin. So that's the crazy thing about what NFTs. So these are different. You can see they are all what different. Like I told you earlier, remember they are what non-fungible tokens. That means what one is not the same as what the other. Like Bitcoin, where one Bitcoin in your wallet is the same thing and has the same value as one in my own wallet. That's one of the crazy things about what NFTs. I think we've explained earlier. So this is as regards what why posting. So if you want to buy now, maybe you see any maybe because I feel at the point in time all these will be what all these will be minted already. So you can only buy from someone and up to yeah. Can you see the details of what the owner? Can you see the details? Can you see the mint stamp telling you what information about what the minting? So if you want to buy this now, maybe you have a turn in your wallet and you want to buy this, you just put maybe you can place a bid of maybe 80. Once you place the bid, then click on what place bid. Once you place the bid, the seller will be what notified. Okay, someone just placed the bid. If they accept the bid, then the art or the NFT is what's transferred to you. Then it's the ownership is what's transferred to you. So you can even go ahead and sell maybe in the future at a much more price or at a lesser price. That's whatever you decide to do at the end of the day. So that's just the basic thing you have to understand about what why posting. It's not difficult. Even on other platforms like OpenSea, the minting process are all easy. But I feel this is very easy, like much easier than all the platforms that we've talked about. Now you can actually check other actions. I told you. Let's click this so you can see. Can you see? So all these what are registered what on the blockchain, just like we told you earlier, like all these things are what are on the blockchain. The information about NFTs are what are documented on what the blockchain. But remember, there are some couple of NFTs on the likes of OpenSea.io in such a way that when you mint through the free process, until someone pays for that NFT, the information of that particular NFTs what are not on the blockchain yet. So you have to just these are just the little differences between what a couple of these platforms. So I believe we've talked like we did not enough justice when we talked about NFTs. So I'll pause here. So if there is anyone with questions or maybe Mr. Austin is having questions for me, I think
Yeah,
we should take the
yeah.
questions now.
I think we have a question. Someone asked you that you should demonstrate how to send tons from the wallet, something like that. I saw a question about that.
Yeah, okay. Now, see, the process is this. As much as I want to demonstrate this, as much as I want to demonstrate this, I use the Thumbs Up app on my mobile phone. So anytime I need to deposit now, you click on top up. You understand? You click on top up. Now, this is the wallet address. So you copy this wallet address. You understand? You copy this wallet address and you take it to your Thumbs Up. Let me see if I. Let me see. Hold on. Thumbs Up. I'm going to launch my mobile wallet on my phone. What you just the basic thing you need to do is go to this go to copy this wallet address, go to your Ton Soft app, and from there you send the desired amount you want to sell. You send it what to this wallet address, and you see it immediately, like almost instantly. So I just sent a ridiculous amount. I just sent a ridiculous amount from my I think I sent it second too. So from my FreeTon mobile app. So in a couple of seconds now you just have to like refresh. Maybe you can just refresh or something, and you see it will reflect it. That's the thing. That's the only thing that you need to do. So do I answer the question? Is the person over there? Do I
I
answer the
think
question? Or do I?
yes. So thank you, and thank you everyone for joining us up today. So have yourselves a lovely weekend, and keep an eye please on Telegram, on our Telegram group chat. Please, I'll be dropping it there. Thank you everyone for coming, and let me just let the cat out of the bag. Next week we'll talking some things about DeFi. So it'll be interesting to see you guys around. So get fired. We are fired up already for the DeFi, and everybody loves DeFi. How you put in a couple of bucks and then you're able to print thousands from it. So stay tuned next week. We'll be talking about DeFi. Michael, any closing remarks from you, please?
Yeah, thanks so much everyone for tuning in today. Ensure to be a part of our Telegram community so you can see events that are coming up. And like I do always say, if you have something very valuable to find from the blockchain, you can always reach out to Mr. Austin. He's always ready to give it to you. So that's it from my end. Thanks so much for joining. Do have a lovely day.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Have yourselves a lovely evening. Thank you.